PC side. But yeah, Power Platform had a lot of stuffs around it.
It will depend actually on the usage, the scenarios where you're using.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. So before I start, before I forget about it, I'll be away for next 2 weeks. It's my child's vacation, so I'll be traveling. So I'll be back on 2nd, which is Sunday, April 2nd. So before we get
Okay.
started, go ahead.
No, nothing.
Anything specific that you want to cover after 2 weeks that I can start looking at? And I can make notes if there is anything that we would like to talk about that.
Nothing I can think of
Nothing
on
at
top.
this moment.
I don't know about.
Okay, yeah. Till then, Business Central will also be announced. So let's see what happens with that. And so yeah, I also created that Copilot preview, the Copilot edition. You can create the preview now in your admin center. When you go, you get an option to create the Copilot preview. But the only limitation at this point is that the Copilot preview edition is only available for US. So you'll have to make sure that you choose the country as US, an environment of type sandbox. And then if you choose any other country, let's say UI, you'll only see that you can choose the normal preview. But if you change it to US, you also get you only get then the Copilot edition, which is combination of the preview plus Copilot edition. So if you want to play around with it, that'll be the approach that you need to select the country US. And I don't remember the timeline, but I guess there is an end date to it, to the preview, after which you cannot create these preview environments. Let me see my notes where I have it. Okay. So that's what you can do. And even in India or anywhere else, you can create these preview environments. That's not a problem. Just remember to choose a country as US, and these will be available until 1st May of 2023. After that, they'll not be available, the preview, as in we'll see when that bakes in into the product. But at this time, it's on preview. So once you log in into the preview, and if you're okay with having a US preview environment, you will just get it baked in as a preview plus the Copilot feature into it. So that's just a typical preview environment where everything exists, but also the Copilot feature exists. So at this point, what I was able to find out from the marketing videos only is it's only accessible on the items page, I guess. Maybe on the card. Let me see. Okay, maybe I haven't enabled it yet. Sorry. Let's get into feature management. And let's see the end date if it is a feature. AI powered product descriptions. Oh, so it's limited to product description at this moment. And this, as of now, it says it will be enabled from update 23, which is the next release, I guess. And let's do it for all users. That's enabled, and we'll have to log out and log back in. Then, as Sandeep sir was saying, we'll have to see how much we can utilize it based on how much access we get to it. So all the demo have this one example here that, oh, there it is. So you can use it for marketing text, which you can create with Copilot. I guess there's some actions also about it. Oh, the same action marketing text. Once you enable it, Once you click on it, either from here or if you directly click on create with Copilot, it should start writing a description for you like a chat GPT does majorly. And then you can review that, which shows you all the description that is suggested by AI for this and that you can utilize. The other thing that there is that what attributes to include. So you can choose what attributes you want from the item attribute. It will show you all the attributes, and based on those attributes, it'll change uh, the AI description that's generated from it. So let's reduce everything just to color and height, and let's keep it. So we have color, height, and width at this point. So we have limited what kind of attributes we are including. So that's just based on item attribute. Then the another one is format and length, which specifies the format of generated text. What are the options? Is are you looking for a tagline or a paragraph or both of them or just a brief summary of the text? These are the options. And they kind of control how much you get. So like a tagline would be a catchy phrase or a short sentence that identifies that item, whereas a paragraph will be a kind of a detailed description of it, and then brief will be a introductory statement for it. So let's try tagline and let's do a create draft. Take a stand with Athens. Test the height of the style and width of comfort. Hmm. Because we have just chosen height and width. Oh, we also chose color, which I then talked about. This time, let's try to get a brief. Okay. Hmm. So here it's utilizing the attributes that are there. Okay. And then it generates the tagline plus detail of it. What are the more settings are there? Hmm. Oh, emphasize equality. Okay. Hmm. Tone of voice. Creative. Let's do a tagline. Hmm. Casual. Okay. I guess somehow, and I don't have access to the source code at this moment, but I guess it's sending these inputs to an chat GPT more or less, and then generating these AI generated text for this item if needed. And what else was available on the marketing video is then you can kind of push this data to your Shopify, where then it can be used on your web store to use it. Other examples that have shown in the pictures is let's download this item picture. It says that it can read the pictures. Let's save images and demo img. Okay. Oh, sorry, I should have done the correct save. Is that a download image? Export. Okay. 1906. What you can do now is you can create a new item, but then you can also create new from picture. Once you do that, and let me drag the file from my computer here, and as you drag it, it should analyze your picture and then set up some attributes and category for it based on the picture that it analyzed. I tried it with random pictures, not random to be very fair, but I guess I was trying with a picture of a light because I saw it somewhere on the video. So I pick a picture from internet and tried using that light, but it was not able to analyze anything about the lights. I don't know. At this moment, like I also took a picture of table from internet, a computer table, and I thought it'll be able to read it because there are some items for table, but it says category is suppliers, office supplies, which makes sense. But then no attributes defined for it. So it's still baking in, I guess, at this time. But these are the two major scenarios that you'll see on Microsoft videos at this point. And what's possible, we'll be able to see it once we have access to the source code, at least for the Copilot version. And maybe it'll remain in preview in this release. I don't know anything about it right now at this moment. Anything else anybody want to try on this? But that was just a buzz this week about it. So I thought let's play with it and see what happens. Okay, what else? Let me see. I guess I have some questions. Let me figure that out. Does anybody know, because this is a question and I don't know the answer to be very fair, that how to run a Windows application from the central, like a bad file? For example, somebody would like to run a notepad.exe. Anybody have achieved it? I don't know it's even possible now.
You would you would use desktop Power Automate to create the app, identify the app, and then you would open up a web flow and tie into that desktop flow. And it would require desktop Power Automate on the user who's developing it and using it. But that's possible.
Oh, okay. So then the only possibility is using Power Automate, that you click an action which runs a flow and then it tells you about it, right?
Well, you can trigger it from a web flow through an automated trigger or button or however you want to do it. You could even do it a standalone like button, web flow button,
Okay.
whatever triggers the flow, just like any flow, web flow. Probably wouldn't take long to test it out if you have desktop Power Automate installed.
I don't, yeah, I haven't used it. I guess Sandeep said one said, and I never installed that.
I guess it's gonna come in Windows automatically. If like everybody in the world that has Windows, it'll be installed automatically when you install Windows. I don't know when that's gonna happen.
Hmm.
So yeah, it ties the modern web experience with your legacy desktop stuff like BAT files and stuff like that, or anything.
Yeah, did anyone attended that directions webinar from Waldo and all last week? I guess that was last week, about what's new in the upcoming release or not. Because I saw something and I'm trying to find it because I don't have access to the source code at this moment. And I guess it's not even available at this moment on that. But there is a new event type that's being introduced by Microsoft in the coming release, which which will change so many things how you interact with Power Automate. So going forward, there is a new event type that will be available from Microsoft, which then can consumed by Power Automate. So you can define your event in your custom application. And as you hit that point in your code, it'll start notifying Power Automate that this event happened in Business Central. So all the crazy thing that we had to do as of this moment to integrate between Business Central and Power Automate, that all will eliminate with that kind of event called external event, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, let me search for it. External event in Business Central. That is not coming with the initial release of Business Central. That'll be available in a cumulative update going forward. And Microsoft documentation about it is not yet updated. Let me open Waldo's article because Waldo wrote an article after that webinar about it, about what's new. So this all we have seen or read somewhere that with the next one, there's a AL Explorer coming up. So you don't need to use, as in you can still use the third-party tools if needed, but it kind of gives you easier way to filter out your objects based on object types and other app types and all. There is a new center which will keep you updated what's changing in Business Central inside your VS Code. That's called AL Home. So it'll keep you updated when things are changing in the AL environment. Okay, this is error info, and then this is for the database locking. So initially it was kind of something that the platform will decide what to lock and what kind of isolation need to be defined. Now developers will be able to overrule what kind of locking they are doing on that table or on that record at that moment. This is something which is super interesting and it's breaking in Business Central at this moment, the preview environment. I haven't reported it, I should. Let me show you what this is. Um, at the design level, a developer can decide what the regional setting for that report will be for any report that you're building. And then in the report setting page inside Business Central, a administrator can define what report setting will be for that report, regional setting. But at the end, a user can come here and define what kind of region, format region for numbers that you would like to use when you're printing this and what kind of language you need. I'm not sure how this will work. This one, language part, I understand how the format region will work. So the language part is specifies the application language that will be used to localize caption and string in that report. I'll be interested to see this for sure, how that makes it. But if I choose, let's say India here, and I don't know, this environment is a refreshed environment. So let me choose India and let me preview it. Oh, in this preview, this is running. So numbers should be formatted differently than a EU or a US range based on what kind of formatting you have done. But here it failed. I guess it was trying to convert that to Hindi. I I am hoping it was trying to, but why it will do that? Hmm, let me see English Hindi. What happens with that? Oh, sorry, English India. English India. This time it showed the March. So maybe it was trying to convert that to Hindi, which seems a little bit off. And that's why there was unknown characters into it. But then what's the last thing does is important in that case. What is this language? If I choose Chinese, will it convert everything to Chinese? Nothing. We'll have to see what the last setting does because it's not even part of the release, what this part does. The language. So yeah, if a customer have reported you earlier that, oh, it doesn't support the layout doesn't support the format, and you have to go and change the format of date and numeric fields, you don't have to do it now. The user can either set it on the report setting so that it applies to every user. There's a page called report setting where you can define the default filters and all for each report. It was available for a long time now. And here you can now also assign. I think that's what they said. Let me see if I do a report. Okay, test, and I can do a report ID. So this name shared with all user. And then here I can define what kind of filters I need for this report. And then at the same time, and let me pick that report which we are running so that we know what it is. And so many customers use reports and setting. I don't know, does everybody uses this or not? But here on this page, we'll see the report number, which is 107. You can actually go to report settings and set the setting for one user or for all the users, as in only for you or for everyone. Okay. Is it going to crash? No. Okay, Kronos USA shared with all users, and then I can say that, oh, whenever this settings are used, make sure that it always run on P, let's say. Oh, I'll convert it to date. And it only does it for customer number 10,000 to 50,000. And then here I can also, and I don't see that option yet, which is weird. Okay, can I edit this and do change something? No, there's nothing on report settings at this moment. Okay, automate and viewer option. But now when I run this customer order summary, where is that? You will see this use default value from last use option, or you will see the saved view that you have done on report setting. And you can have multiple saved view for the same report so that user don't have to configure other filters. So it'll automatically copy all those filter from the report setting into the request page window where it is. I still don't see this option, but they said that the that's also possible in the report setting. And I saw one more thing when I was searching for report settings. Report limit and settings. Oh, so here we can set that. Okay, so let's set that. Report number. So many pages to set some certain things. Okay, report duration timeout. These are for how long you would like to run it. And then here you can set a language, format or region for this. And language, I'll have to check what the language option does. Application language. Okay. So now from these two pages, one is report settings and one is report setting and layout. It clubs in all the details. Let me choose 107. I hope it doesn't overwrite my setting section. Okay, so that new page is just for these settings. How many rows, how many documents, and what is the format. And then combining this, okay, I applied this filter. I'll have to remove this. It'll generate that data. So that's just one part of the feature that they have introduced. The only benefit that I see is that I don't have to change it. At the design time, every time the user says, oh, my report format or date format doesn't match to what I want. Okay, anything else here? Extension to fail prevalidation, that's okay. This is new. I still have to test it, which is how you attach to the active session or the next login session, which was available in nav, but not yet was available in BC at this moment. So it just attaches your debugger to the current active session, and then it also allows you to attach it to the next session. Okay, so they have updated document there, and this is something that is going to add later, but there are mixed views about it, where you can add any field into the page going forward in the personalize option. You don't have to go to design option to add field. You can just do it from the personalize. Now, the mixed views are that, oh, that will allow users to add any kind of field, even if they should not. And the good views are that at least people will not create designer extension because they are hard to manage. They are impossible to manage on a customer environment, and we have seen that. So I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's something that will come up in a CU, I guess, going forward. We tested this drag and drop, only works for one file. Sorry, Microsoft. I would love if it supports multiple document. Shortcuts we have seen, you can just press the Alt key and it show you random shortcuts for each action that's available on the page. And then you can personalize sub pages also for the actions and all. That's not much, I guess. They just have ability to have custom messages where you can have custom actions defined. So in this case, somebody was trying to release a sales order, or sorry, post a sales order, or sorry, modify a sales order, but it was released. So the action doesn't say okay and cancel, it says reopen order. So you can click on reopen order and it'll just open the order and allow you to modify. Um, I guess that's it on this one. And then I'm looking for that document number, catalog item number, context of warehouse, demo tool for warehouse. So yeah, if you are someone or if your customer is going to start warehouse uh, on the sandbox or test environment, you can surely install this extension, which will allow you to set up some demo data for testing of warehouse configurations and all. Hmm. Transfer order, like our sales order, there's or sales invoice, there is a batch. Using that batch, you can post multiple at the time. Preview is extended to 20 different journals pages this time, and dimensions are extended on locations, inventory documents, and journals, the default dimensions. This we have seen the sync master data, and if you haven't attended that session, I guess in the directions website the recording is available. Waldo went a little bit deep into it in his session, showed you what kind of capabilities are there. There is surely events available where you can customize the behavior of when you have to add. As per him, you can't just move your fields directly. You will have to tweak some code, and that's where those events come into picture. So I would highly recommend to watch that. It was Waldo, AJ, and someone else. I forgot. Three people were there. Okay, change company. Okay, yeah, that's just part of it. It's all use a change company to move the data. There's no interface in this, and that seems the limitation of it at this point. Shopify undo transfer shipment. I guess everybody have seen this on the transfer shipment. You can undo this till the point it is not received, or the items that you are using is not reserved. If they are reserved, you'll have to kind of cancel the reservation. But if the items are received, then you cannot undo. So only till ship you can undo those transfer orders. Okay. Business Central run on this. O data calls are faster. Let's see how that goes. We have seen this one for sure. And James was the third guy. Sorry, James, I forgot your name. But we have seen all this. I guess I got a comment on that video later after we published it on YouTube, and which was talking about what you can do with this from Kenny. Kenny said you can export the data to Excel or copy data, including header, by right clicking on the data area, which we were not able to see, I guess, when we were looking at it. So you can still send it to Excel, it seems. You just have to go to, where is that action? Oh, we need to enable this. Seriously. Which one was that? Where is that? Analyze. Is this that? I guess so. Let's see. No, I don't see that yet. Okay, I'll have to go back. But we were stuck, if you remember, while we were trying this, that we cannot do this thing with exporting to Excel with the header, and we were not liking it. That, oh, that's one thing that every customer will want. And then Kenny from Microsoft went into, maybe was that video, and to do this. And then once you're analyzing it, I guess we didn't click anywhere. But if you click on the center, you get the copy with header, copy with group header, and then what the export. Export is already, there is an Excel export. You can
Wow.
directly do an Excel export. And let's open this Excel. Okay, let me drag this in here. And all that data came here as it is. So you can create your crazy views that you want on the pivot, and then it'll just download that data either into a CSV or Excel if needed. So sorry, we clicked everywhere to see where the download options are, but we never clicked in the center anywhere to say that we would like to copy or export that data. So that all is still possible. So yeah, I guess I forgot to talk about it last week, but that was something which we were missing when we were testing this 2 weeks ago. Okay, coming back to Waldo's post. Adaptive card, that's okay. Configure security, easy access with 365 license, country, there are new countries. There is one new thing that I found in the country and region, which I guess Waldo also highlighted, which is cool, that Microsoft, it seems, started moving these uh, local changes into separate extension. So now, like for India or any other new countries that being added from last 3 releases are already done by uh, PD, or sorry, localization extension built by local partners, right? But the first era of Business Central, when Microsoft released it, there were so many countries where Microsoft baked in part of base app, like for US or Canada and other countries, their localization are embedded into base app. This is the first time where we are seeing it, where Microsoft is removing localization features from the base app and moving it into a separate app. And this is, I guess, the way forward, which makes complete sense, that you kind of have a W1 environment, and on top of it, you have your localization extension. Will it ever reach to a point where Business Central will support multiple localizations? I don't know. But Even if that doesn't happen, it makes complete sense that if a customer is in US and they, instead of just having a base app, they also have a app for Business Central North America or US. So they started doing it, and I guess the first country that will get it is Swedish, where the localization will be separated out as an extension. And I hope Microsoft keep doing that for all the kind of wave one or wave two regions where Microsoft bake their localization into the base app. So be ready with it if you are in those regions where your localization is just part of the base app. I'm hoping Microsoft continues doing that in coming releases and then splits out these extensions, separate extensions. Delegated admin, that keeps on having something on it. Improved overview, user permission set, app management setting, include or exclude. Yeah, this is only for partners who deal with upgrades. Okay. So, and I haven't tested it out because that's not yet available at this moment. But as per the summary of it, when you are replicating your data from on-premise to SaaS, you can exclude table during your cloud migration. So if you know that these tables, and I don't know how that works, and I haven't tested it, but I'm hoping it doesn't work, that I don't want my customer ledger. Because if that happens, will that be fantastic? I don't know. But then I'll have to check it once it becomes available. But it was not something which was possible till now in the cloud replication where you can exclude or include tables. But it seems it will be able to do it. Customers or partners will be able to do it going forward. Whether any table as along it's accessible by AL code and not marked internally on premise, it's included or excluded as part of cloud migration. Still have to test it. Can I do a refresh or re-implementation on Business Central SaaS from on-prem where I say, okay, these are my masters, just take these and leave all my ledgers data into here. Will that be possible? I don't know. But we'll see that. Okay, transfer environment between Azure ADs. This is some kind of a special request. You might not have seen it, maybe seen it, but your Azure, your Business Central environment is always on a certain region, right? And you have to go inside it to see. So right now it's in Azure region, South Central US. As of now, if you have to change this, let's say while building this tenant, I was building it for a customer in India, and by mistake I decided it to be the Azure region, South Central US. I have to send a Microsoft ticket, and then Microsoft understands the reasoning and then moves the database between Azure tenants. It seems that can be done by administrators in Business Central now using Admin Center, where they can move the database between Azure AD tenants without a ticket with Microsoft and all. I don't know how easy or how complex it will be, but going forward, it's a self-service scenario. And I don't know what that means, but it's possible that it can happen then. Internal administrator can request an environment transfer from the source tenant, then accept the transfer from the target tenant. Maybe Azure administrator, not Business Central administrator. Let's see. Yes, this is what I was looking for. And this is something which is big. This is something which will change so many things. So there's a new kind of event which will notify and trigger external systems. So you define an event in your app inside Business Central, like any other event that you define. And as soon as you reach to the point where that event get called, the external systems will be notified from Business Central that this event has occurred. Now think about the possibilities because it's more or less kind of whenever it will be released, which is I guess later in CUs of Power Automate. Because when we build our custom Power Automates as of today, and I hope I have some here, if not, we'll bake it in. We go and we click on this, let's say, and then it pops up a window. User have to wait, and then when user waits for it, then that window comes up. Then he authorizes this, and then the Power Automate trigger kind of flows from it. That's one way to run flow from Business Central. The other way is you run an automated flow, which is built in Power Automate, where you say, hey, Power Automate, if this event happens, like if somebody changes a field on customer card, then do this. To even do that, you need API pages exposed and you need some templates baked in from Microsoft to utilize them. With this, think of a situation where whenever a sales order get posted, you want to trigger some flow on Power Automate. You can subscribe to the Microsoft event when the sales order posting is complete. And then in your custom code unit, where you're subscribing this, you can actually write a new event of type external, which will then can pass certain values from Business Central to Power Automate. And that will act as a trigger to start the Power Automate. So this will all happen behind the scene. You don't have to kind of do it manually or click a button or wait for an API, build an API page and all that. You might need API pages, but that trigger in those situations will save. So do read about it. The signature of this event is a little bit different than the typical event that we add. And the only detail that Microsoft have, and you can't try it on the preview environments because that's not even yet available, is this image. That when on Business Central, and this is the category that you define inside Business Central. If that happens, then on this action, and this is again defined on your Business Central, do this. So these external systems, which is Power Automate and Power Apps at this moment, will automatically get notified when your event is called. So that changes so many things in that equation. Okay. So keep your eye on this. I'm hoping in the CU, some CUs, Microsoft will update the documentation, which will talk about it. And here is the recording, I guess. Let me see if I have access to it. I think, yeah, once you log in, I guess you have access to it. To watch it, because people who have access to the insider builds did show the demo of it, not actually the demo, but how you can write that event and all, the external event in Business Central. I don't have access to that link at this moment, but yeah. So here what he's explaining, but I'm looking forward to this just because it brings so much more use cases to the Power Platform. You'll be able to start a Power Automate flow based on business event like post, release, or your custom defined events. So think about it, because this is going to change so many things. Microsoft again adding some new templates to Power Automate or Power Apps. Let's see how that goes. And then these are proactive cards, nothing else. Workflow experience with Power template and BC CoPilot we just saw in the beginning. And that's it on the next release, I guess. This is all, I guess. Anything that I missed? Anything that somebody saw somewhere or interested in? Okay, I guess Stefano have an article about it where he showed some screenshot about it because he had access to the insider build. Oh, I found it, I guess. Yeah. Here it is, which we were talking about. Okay. On after calc invoice. This is not that event. Yes, this is the kind of the definition of the event where in this case he is writing on a page and he defined this external business event, but this is the name of the event, this is the description of event, and this is what the description that you'll see on the power domain. And then there is this event category enum which you can extend. So the cool part is that you can even event category, the event category is what you see. Where is that image? Here, the category. So there will be some that comes from Microsoft by default, but then because it's an enum and as per the documentation that I read, that enum is extensible. So you can actually uh, extend this and then define your custom enums options into it. The only limitation, you can't set complex data type like it record set or other complex data type. You can't pass that, but you can pass simple values, simple data types like integer, text, and all. If that helps you to invoke the flow, then you can use this, and anytime this event will be triggered, like in this case this is a trigger, it will automatically notify the external system that event has happened in business central which you would like to call. There is one more thing which I haven't read anywhere else other than Stefano's blog, which talks about that there is a syntax for the subscriber that's going to change. And I don't know how much work that adds for everyone. But as of today, when we write a subscriber, the method is without single quotes, the method or the event that we are subscribing to. But it seems it will fail and you will have to start utilizing this single quotes on both the sides of the event name. It seems Microsoft have made or somebody have made a tooltip for it which can change that instance to all the occurrence in the document or in the project or workflow. But I don't know will that happen today because I haven't read it from Microsoft at this point. Syntax of event subscriber. The new syntax is as follows. The syntax allowed you to navigate event subscriber to see event hover information, use the subscription to use the event. But now, in order to facilitate the conversion, code actions have to be introduced to convert one, some, or all event subscribers. So I'm not sure yet. So don't panic that we have to go to each customer and change this because there is no info from Microsoft. But hopefully in future there's some change coming up. And if I'm not wrong, when you do by default a subscriber and if you use the IntelliSense, it does add single quotes into the event that you're consuming. So let's see how that goes into this. And I'm not sure about this part yet. Anything else interesting that somebody read, found somewhere, or any questions, I guess? Yeah, Jignesh, go ahead.
Uh, I have a question regarding so in a BC19 on premise, there is one report is there. It is creating a file of CSV using record file variable. In a normal, it is working and create a file, but in a job queue, it is giving error like the path is not find.
The reason is because when you do it manually, it just downloads it in your browser, right? When you
Okay.
are doing job queue, it doesn't know where to store.
So
And
file is sometimes stored. Like if I have job queue, like 10 times I'm executing the job queue. So it might be that 6 to 7 times it is download the file properly. But
where
in
it
between
downloads,
some it is in a they have hard coded the folder path like C drive temp folder and WRH particular folder they have created. So sometime it is work. We have put a sleep command also between the create and the write function to like for some particular time we put a sleep command like 10 second. So I thought that it is a job queue, so it is creating a file fast and writing the command fast. That's why we put a sleep between create and write operation. Manually, it is fine. When we debug also, it is fine. There is no any issue.
Okay, and you have set up that on a server. The path is server, it seems, right?
Yes,
It's
yes,
not. And then
yes,
you surely have the target of that extension set as on-prem because
yes,
the
yes,
target
yes,
cloud will not allow it.
yes.
So instead of a C drive and all, why don't you share a folder even on the
Yes,
same folder?
I have also tried with a shared
Okay.
folder, but it's still having the same issue.
Okay, so you have a CSV file generation. And how does you are generating CSV? The report is generating CSV?
Using just a minute. Using outstream command.
But there is a CSV buffer table in Business Central, which you should be using to keep it simple.
Okay,
There is a table. Let me see if I have VS Code open somewhere. Yes, I have it. Let me drag it here. So like you have Excel buffer to generate Excel files. In
yes,
the same way, when you look in the base application, there is something called as CSV buffer, and I don't know why people don't use it. But this table, like Excel buffer, allows you to write data into it, and then it surely have code to export the data. Okay, so you can have the line number, field number, and the value, just three fields. Okay, what the line number is, what the field number is, and what the value is. And then there are so many methods which will allow you to insert a record into it, load data. You are exporting, so you don't need load data. But and this is save data. Okay, this gives you the CSV file and CSV separated column. So it does it right to the stream, and then it's just writing it to the stream, it seems, to a file. Oh, there is a CSV file name. So you can just pass the CSV file name here and allow you to download that.
okay,
Okay. If you just want to put it on a blob inside somewhere, you can just. So all these are built-in methods. I see so many people write code to download CSV, and I don't know why. But this is not something which was added in Business Central. I'm pretty sure it was available in the NAV board. I don't know back when, but I'm pretty sure in BC14 I have seen it. I'm pretty sure it was available in the past also, the CSV buffer, and it had all these methods available even back then. So utilize this. There is already code written for it. Uh, in your report or in your code unit that you are adding into job queue, just
okay,
try to call this method.
okay. Let me try that. So, is it if you allow me just to show share my screen just a quick and a
If it's a
customer
customer
date.
environment, don't do it because we are recording. So I would highly encourage don't do it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
after this call,
yeah.
can
After
we?
this, I'll sit with you.
Okay,
No issues.
okay.
Anything else, anyone?
Did you discuss the actionable error handling?
We did not. People are not interested, but yeah, I have played with it. But I'm going to record about it. It'll be available on YouTube maybe next week, most probably, if I get some time.
Seems like a good feature, if
Oh yeah.
Business Central knows there's an error, why not just have a button to say fix it then? If you know about it, fix it.
Yeah. So yeah, John, you joined late, but if you guys have any thoughts, I'll not be available for next 2 weekends. I'm going out, but just drop me a mail and I'll surely see what I can learn on that, and then we can talk about it. Otherwise, I'll see you in on what is that, April 8th of April. I'll set up a meeting of 8th of April now, and we'll see you then.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
Saurav.
Thanks.
Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
I'll stop recording, and Jignesh, then we can talk.